Welcome to the second installment of Cleared for Comfort. I'm Mark. My partner in crime, Jill, is not with me on this episode because she's preparing for our first adventure of the year. And this installment, I'm going to talk about our first adventure of the year because it really underscores some of the things we said in our introductory installment. If you haven't seen that, check in the notes and you can see that episode that talks about how we will be reviewing different travels. This one, we're going to talk about the very first adventure of the year and also a little bit about terminology. So first, about terminology, an adventure is a trip. It's one where we go from point A to point B, spend some time, maybe go to point C, point D, and then come home. That's one adventure. And on those adventures, we're going to be providing episodes. Episodes will be individual parts of that trip. So individual flights, individual lounges, individual hotels, or a cruise, if that's the type of adventure. So where are we going on our first adventure of the year that we're leaving tomorrow? We're going to Patagonia. If you're not familiar with where Patagonia is, you can take a look at this map here. We're going to start at the top in a place called Puerto Montt. We're going to fly into and stay in Puerto Varas. And then we're going to go down to the south part of Chile, down to Torres del Paine National Park. We're going to do some hikes there. And then we're going to go a little bit farther north, but also east into Argentina, go to Los Glaciares National Park there. And then we're going to end up in a place that I'll explain a little bit better by talking about the company Patagonia. Most of you might not be familiar with where Patagonia is, but you've heard it and you've seen the Patagonia logo. Well, the Patagonia logo comes from that area because the founder of Patagonia drove a car with some buddies all the way from the United States, all the way down. In fact, they started in Alaska at one point and drove all the way down the Pan American Highway. And when they got there, they were just awestruck by everything they saw. And the Patagonia logo is actually a silhouette of Mount Fitzroy. And we are going to Mount Fitzroy. We're going to take a climb up to one of the best parts to see it. So we are praying for good weather because if it's clouds there, we're going to have to go back again, I suppose. So let's just talk about that trip. So rather than taking many months driving a car, we have 4 flights. Now, that sounds like a lot, but it's not too bad. But let's talk about those individual flights. We're taking a flight from Reno to Denver, and that's in first class, domestic first class. So on that episode, I'll explain why we're in domestic first class on that flight. The next segment is from Denver to Houston, and we're in domestic economy on that flight. And then the long segment, the long flight is from Houston to Santiago, Chile. That one will be in premium economy. And then we are on LATAM Airlines from Santiago to Puerto Montt, and that is in domestic economy in Chile. Now, on that trip, we've also got a domestic flight in economy on Aerolíneas Argentinas. And then we've got a business class flight home via Mexico City on Aeromexico and Delta to get all the way back to Reno. So just think about that on this trip. We're going to be in domestic first. We're going to be in domestic economy. We're going to be in international premium, international business. So we're kind of covering the breadth there with all those episodes for all those different flights. And along the way, we'll pick up different lounges. We'll have a lounge in Reno for the first time. We won't do that again on other ones, but we will highlight that wonderful lounge we like there. We won't be able to go to a lounge in Denver because of the short connection, but we will have a lounge time in Houston as well as in Santiago. And believe it or not, Puerto Montt and a couple of other places down in South America will also have lounges, and a lounge in Mexico City and Los Angeles on the way back. So plenty of lounge reviews coming up. And then we've got several really nice hotels we're staying at, and kind of the breadth again. We have some of the more budget-friendly ones, but that still have a nice location, and then a luxury all-inclusive resort that we'll be staying for 4 nights down in Patagonia. So lots to come on that. And let's see, what time is it? I really need to go get packing. So enjoy our episodes upcoming. They'll be published later in January and into February, and we will see you on the road where we will review To Clear for Comfort.